Hello and welcome back to another video. And today as you can probably tell by the title, I'm going to be going over my top 10 yaoi and shonen ai titles. And I did a video about a year ago of my top 5, but since making that video I have read a lot more titles and my favourites have changed, so I decided to redo it as a top 10. And Badgie is on the toilet because she ate uneven potato waffles, so she's somewhere. I'm suffering. Anyway, we should probably get on with the video. First up, I have at number 10 on my list, I have Therapy Game. And Therapy Game is a 2-volume series. There's currently only 1 volume out in English, which is this first one. And the reason this series is at number 10 is because I've only read the first volume, so basically the first half. Once I read volume 2 it might increase in rank, I don't know. But Therapy Game is a spin-off series to a one-shot called Secret XXX. I do recommend you read that one first, as it introduces the characters that this one is about. And Therapy Game is about these two here. I forget their names. Minato. I can't remember the other guy's name. Shizuma. So yeah, this is Shizuma, this is Minato. And Minato is the younger brother of the guy in Secret XXX, and Shizuma is the older brother of the other guy. Anyway, one day Shizuma's girlfriend dumps him, and so his friends, as a joke, take him to this gay bar where he's sulking and drinking a lot of alcohol. There he meets Minato, who he just pours his heart out to and gets super drunk. So Minato decides he's gonna have to take him home, but he doesn't know where he lives, so he decides to take him back to his place. And when he's there, Shizuma just starts coming on to him because he's drunk, and Minato, who's been around and slept with quite a lot of people, just goes along with it, and he's like, alright, and the two of them sleep together. Then the next morning they wake up, Shizuma has no memory of what he did, which has kind of pissed Minato off because he enjoyed it that much. So he decides to get revenge by making him fall for him, by being prompted by his workmates at the bar. And that's the story. I really enjoyed this first volume. I will probably really enjoy volume 2 as well. If I can find a page with some artwork I can show. It was very good. I also enjoyed the couple. As Minato, as of Secret XXX, you think he's a different person in Secret XXX, but then you learn who he truly is in this one. And he has some childhood trauma, which he's told no one but his brother, who's kind of starting to open up to this guy about. And it's just very good. I would recommend this, but I would recommend you read Secret XXX first, although I do enjoy this one more. Next up, at number 9 on my list, I have a one-shot called Rika and Cigarettes. And this is by Ramu Zaria, who wrote Coyote. It's a one-shot about these two. They live in, I think, Italy. I think it takes place in Theo and Camillo. Now, Camillo owns the cigarette shop, and then Theo owns the liquor shop across the street. And they've been best friends since childhood, and Camillo is bisexual. He's always been out, and he has a thing for Theo, but Theo is straight, so he's kind of held off. But then there's this competition coming up where they have to see who can identify the most drinks, but Theo's a lightweight, but he has to enter as the owner of the liquor shop, so he decides to practice drinking and building up a tolerance with Camilio, and things go from there. And it's very good. I can't show that page. Let me find the page. There we go. And the sex scenes are also very good in this one. They are quite graphic. Now, Liquor and Cigarettes. I do recommend it. It's just a one shot. Easy to get through. Next up, I have at number 8. This isn't a yaoi, this is a shonen ai, and that is our Dining Table, which is a one-shot, which was released by 7 Seas. And this is just a very cute one-shot about me once again trying to remember the names of the characters. Yukata and Minoru. Yeah, this is Yukata, and he has trouble. He was adopted as a young boy into this family, and they kind of made fun of him, and ever since then he's had trouble eating around other people, so he tends to go out and eat alone on a park bench. And one day he meets these two brothers, I've forgotten his name again, Minoru, another Minoru, and Kane, and Kane comes up to him and asks him for some food, so he gives him a rice ball, which he finds very delicious, and ever since then Minoru's been inviting him around to cook for them and to teach them how to make food, and he starts to like eat with them, and it's just a cute one shot. There's nothing sexual in this one. It's just a nice one shot that I recommend if you're looking for a cute yaoi story, which is quite wholesome. It's a good one. I do recommend it. At number 7, I have Coyote, again by Rosaria. This is a series which is currently 2 volumes long. Volume 3 comes out in January. So Brian released their early 2021 release schedule, and it was announced that this volume 3 is coming out in January. Coyote is about this guy here called Coyote, who is a werewolf, and he is hunting against this family of people who are like against werewolves and want to like make them extinct. And then he meets this guy in a bar who he has no idea of his real name. He calls him Maureen because he likes to play piano. And then the two of them start hanging out in this bar, and then Coyote goes into heat, and nobody but Maureen can satisfy him during this heat. And I liked Volume 2 better than I liked Volume 1. The story starts really getting going in Volume 2, and I can't wait for Volume 3. Yeah, this was a good story, and I would recommend it. Again, if Volume 1 you didn't really enjoy, give it a second volume, because Volume 2 is where it gets good. Next I have at number 6 on the list, I have Love Stage. Yes, Love Stage is a series where I actually remember the names of the main characters without having to look on the back of the volume. We have Ryoma and Izumi. And as a child, Izumi was made to star in this advert which involved a little girl who had to throw a bouquet. It was an advert for like a wedding service, and the girl who was meant to do it was sick, so he had to dress as a girl and take her place, but he was nervous and wet himself. And then Ryoma, who was a child at the time, was co-starring with him, gave him this like marble in order to like calm his nerves. And ever since that day, Ryoma's had a crush on Izumi, thinking he was a girl. Then they've grown older now, they're in college, well, Izumi's in college, and they meet again just for Ryoma to fight when they're doing like the advert. They're doing like a redoing of it when they're older, which is like a continuation of the first advert, and they meet again, and Ryoma finds out that Izumi is a boy, but then he realises it doesn't matter and he still has feelings for him, and then it goes from there. And this is a very good series. I did enjoy Upstage. I like the artwork for it too. Yeah, I very enjoy Upstage. It's a 7-volume long series, and it is completed 7 volumes, so not too long, and the whole thing is out. I'd recommend it, Upstage. At number 5, we've got through half of them. Now we're on to number 5, which is Escape Journey, and this is a 3-volume long series, and it is complete in English. Can't show that page. An Escape Journey is about these 2 college boys who I again can't remember the names of, Naoto and Taichi. This is Naoto, this is Taichi. And they're like, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, they had a thing in high school, they dated in high school, and now they're in college, and they met up again, and they're trying to just be friends, but things tend to not work, and they become lovers again. And it's about the 2 of them, like, rekindling their relationship and getting back together, and going through some issues, and it also tackles the issue of homophobia in Japan, which not a lot of yaois do, but this one does. And the art style is cool, and I really enjoyed the story of this one and the couple in this one. Very good. I would put, this is I'm pretty sure this was at number 3 last time is it number 3? Yeah, this was at number 3 last time I did this video, but it's gone down to number 5 because I have read some good yaoi since then. But anyway, Escape Journey's good. Next up at number 4, I have 10 Count, and this is a complete series at 6 volumes. This is the second yaoi that I ever read, the first being Love Stage Volume 1, but I did complete this before I completed Love Stage. I read Volume 1 of Love Stage, and it took me a while before I read the rest, but with this I read it pretty much the first 5 volumes were out at the time, and I pretty much read all of them, and I was just waiting for Volume 6, so this is actually the first yaoi that I finished. There we go, there's a page. And 10 Count is a series about Riku Kurose and, what's his name? Shirotani and Kurose. I actually have the androids for these 2 somewhere. Oh, yeah. There they are. And 10 Count is a series about Shirotani who, ever since something that happened in his childhood, which I will not say because it's a spoiler, he has had germophobia. Like, whenever he goes out, he has to wear gloves, he always has to wash his hands, like, every 5 minutes. He won't allow anyone to come into his house. He won't allow anyone to touch his stuff, or anything like that. And one day when he's at work, he runs into Kurose, who is a therapist. And Kurose notices the signs that he has germophobia and asks if he wants him to help him for free rather than to pay for it, because Kurose also had something that happened in his childhood which makes him want to help him, like, for free. So he's reluctant at first, but Shirotani agrees, and then Kurose asks him to write a list of 10 things that he doesn't like, starting at number 10, which is the thing he doesn't like the least, and then going to number 1, which is the thing he doesn't like the most, and then the 2 of them start going down the list together, trying to do the things for number 10, to number 1, but he leaves number 1 blank. He doesn't write anything in there, and he's just like, you can write it in once we get to that point. So yeah, and along the way, obviously, stuff happens, and Kurose ends up sticking fingers in places and stuff like that, because this is a yaoi. Anyway, a 10 count is very good. I would very recommend it. There we go. Next up, we have the last Shonen Ai on the list. There's only 3, the rest are yaois, and that is at number 3, and that is this is my previous number 1, which has now gone down to number 3. No wait, it's not the last Shonen Ai, there is another one. Never mind. And that is number 3 on this list is I Hear the Sunspot, which is it's currently 4 volumes of this out in English. Volume 5, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere it's going to be the final volume. It doesn't have a release date yet. No idea when it's coming out, but I'm looking forward to it, because this is a fantastic series. Obviously the art's decent, it's not the best art, but the story makes up for it. Obviously this is, again, it's a Shonen Ai, there's nothing sexual in here. And this is about 2 college age kids, Kohei and the other guy who I can't remember the name, Taichi, another Taichi. We have Kohei and we have Taichi, and one day Kohei's just being not Kohei. One day Taichi is just being Taichi when he falls through the bushes in front of this guy Kohei, who he thinks is very antisocial because he's always off by himself and not interacting with people, but then he finds out that Kohei is actually hearing impaired. He can hear a little bit, but not a lot. Ever since a disease he had when he was in middle school, he has lost 90% of his hearing, and therefore he can't hear the classes very well. So Taichi agrees to take notes for him, so he will go to the classes, write down what the professor says, and then give those notes to Kohei so he can actually understand the classes. And the two of them kind of form a bond with each other through doing this and start hanging out more. Taichi starts to understand Kohei better and what he's been through, and starts to help bring him to the other side of the curtain that he feels trapped behind. And yeah, it's very good. Again, this couple is one of my favourite BL couples. Obviously, just shy of the 2 that are in above this, but this is a very, very good series, and I do highly recommend it. And it's fantastic. Next up, I'm going to go to number 2, which is number 2 on this list, and that is Given, which is the last Shonen Ai on this list. And Given is a series that just started releasing this year. It is currently 2 volumes long. Volume 3 is out, I think, September. And I watched the anime first, absolutely loved it. Afterwards I found out that manga was getting an English release, so I obviously got that right away. And Given is very good. I absolutely love it. In fact, the anime of Given I preferred over Yuri on Ice. And Yuri on Ice was very good. But Given, again, it's just Shonen Ai, so there's nothing sexual. It's about this band, which there's 4 members, but there's 3 members at first. There's Haruki, Akihito, Ritsuka, and Mafuyu. All of them have a season in the name. The band was originally called The Seasons. Anyway, one day, whilst Ritsuka is at school, he comes across Mafuyu asleep on the stairs, hugging a guitar, and he goes up to him and asks him about his guitar because he also plays guitar, and Mafuyu's like, you notice that it's broken, and Mafuyu's like, it can be fixed, because Umiyama offers to fix it for him, and then he goes and does it. And after that, after his guitar's been fixed, Mafuyu asks Umiyama if he can teach him how to play it, because he doesn't know. He acquired the guitar recently due to a tragic event in his past. And Umiyama's like, no, I don't really want to put my time into that. And then they're like, see each other for a few days, but then they're talking one day, and Mafuyu just happens to mention that there's a song in his head, and he wants to know what the song is, so he starts singing it to Ritsuka. And after Ritsuka hears his singing voice, he's like, he just has to join our band, so he agrees to teach him how to play guitar, and in exchange asks him to join the band, which he agrees to, and then they kind of form this band. Yeah, it's a very good series. There's two main couples, which are Ritsuka and Mafuyu is one of the couples, and then Haruki and Akihito, the other two band members, are the other couples. The first 3 volumes concentrates on these two, whereas volumes, I think 4 to 6 or 4 to 5, concentrates on these two. I don't know what happens beyond that, because that's as much as I can find online. I really love Given. I think the anime covers the first 3 volumes. It's very good. Obviously, I would also recommend watching the anime so you can actually hear the singing. It is about a band. You can't hear the music in the manga, obviously, so I also recommend going and watching the anime too. It's not dubbed, but it's still very good. Love Given, it's fantastic. And last up, at number 1 on my list, and my favourite BL series of all time, is Candy Colour Paradox. And Candy Colour Paradox is currently 4 volumes long. Volume 5 has finally been announced. It is coming out in, I think, April. And Candy Colour Paradox is a very fantastic series, and this is my favourite BL couple of all time. We have, I like them so much I can't remember the names. One. We have One, and then we have this guy. No, Kaburagi. We have Kaburagi and we have One. And he works for a magazine company where he goes and gets scoops and publishes this celebrity gossip and business scandals and stuff inside of this magazine. And he writes about the stuff, and then he's paired up with this photographer called Kaburagi to go work on this case together. And the two of them do not get along. They crash all the time. They're always fighting. But they just start working on these cases where he's doing the reporting and he's doing the photography, and he learns that Kaburagi's cold act is just an act and a way he gets by in his job by exposing people and stuff. And it's just very good. Very good. And I would highly recommend it. It is a yaoi, so there is some sex scenes in here, but they're very tame compared to other yaois, and also there's not as many as them compared to other yaois. There's maybe 1, possibly 2 in some volumes. But yeah, very good. I do recommend this. Very good couple, very good yaoi. It's fantastic. It's my number 1, and I would highly recommend it, and I can't wait for volume 5. Anyway, that is it for this video, as I have gone through all 10 of my favourites. Here's a recap. And here is a recap for anyone interested, and my phone is ringing, so I'm going to have to go now, so goodbye. Goodbye, I'm still on the toilet.